All right, guys, now that we know who is out, let's take a look at who might be replacing them. Besides the teams that have the transaction window until June 30th, they'll also have until the start of the playoffs to sign substitute players for high-risk individuals who don't travel or test positive for the coronavirus. So far, a few players have been picked up. Trey Burke and Corey Brewer signed with the Mavericks. Tyler Zeller inked a deal with the Spurs, and D-League standout PJ Dozier got picked up by the Denver Nuggets. There was more expectations, such as J.R. Smith possibly to the Lakers and Joakim Noah to the Clippers. So currently 16 NBA players have tested positive for the coronavirus, including Alex Len, Buddy Hield, and Jabari Parker from Sacramento, as well as Malcolm Brogdon from Indiana. So, Jay, what do you think of the signings so far, and who are some of the best players left to be signed?
Yeah, all these guys that just got picked up, Tyler Zeller, PJ Dozier, Corey Brewer. I mean, most of these players are heading to fringe teams, so it's really hard for me to get all that excited about them. I mean, the Mavericks have they're making attempts to replenish that depth I was talking about in the last subject. I still think it's going to be hard to imagine them, from the 7th seed beating the Clippers, presumably. But I just want to go to who isn't signed. I know there's been a lot of talk about J.R. Smith to the Lakers. J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters on the same team. That has some fascinating element to it. I'll leave that
TV.
at that. Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at Jamal Crawford. I think it's absolutely criminal this man isn't on a roster. Last time we saw him, season finale of last season, I believe, the man dropped 51 points. I'm going to tell you, there's one team that I've got in mind right now that could use some scoring for a variety of reasons. Could the Utah Jazz be invested in maybe picking up a guy that can score? You got to remember the coronavirus that shut down the whole country. Rudy Gobert, this is where it all started. We got to remember the Jazz are going to be interesting to watch because there were reports about Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert not seeing eye to eye. You got Bojan Bogdanovic, who just shut it down, had season-ending surgery, so you're going to miss his 20 points a night that you're getting. Utah's going to have trouble scoring the ball if they don't get some reinforcements. Crawford seems to me he would make a lot of sense. Instant offense off the bench. He's a walking bucket, perennial 6th man of the year candidate. I don't see why you wouldn't do it at this point if you have any interest in competing seriously in the NBA playoffs. Go ahead.
I do got a question. Do we know who brings the ball up for the second unit for Utah?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can't imagine he's better than Jamal Crawford. Can the research department get on that real quick so we can at least
Hey, Tom,
we'll have a look real quick from the back of the booth
question.
here.
Valid question. We know it's about Mike Conley starting it off. I'd be shocked if the research department gives us someone better than Jamal Crawford. Because it's not just about bringing the ball up the court. It's about, can you do something yourself with it? Because that's what Crawford's going to give you. I'm not talking about some point guard that's just going to – I mean, they don't need a Rondo. You know what I'm saying? They need somebody that can put the ball in the hole.
Very true. But the reason I ask is because what we know of Jamal Crawford is a magician with the ball in his hand. He don't post up in the short corner and wait for the ball to come to him. He don't play in the post. He's a guy that he got the moves. They call him Jay Crosso. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And one mixtape. I'm gonna hit you with the hot sauce, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what he do. So he has to have the ball in his hand. So that's why I'm wondering who is that backup?
As far as Utah's depth chart's concerned, it's Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, and Jordan Clarkson for the point guard spot. And then the shooting guard spot is Clarkson and Joe Ingles. So Emmanuel Mudiay Emmanuel Mudiay is the 4th on the list. So
so they do have Clarkson. That's something to like. And I believe Clarkson. He
was doing some work when he first got over there. He had a real good hot streak.
Yeah, I still think there's some value in adding Crawford because it's not just going to be about Clarkson. You got to remember somebody's got to step into Bogdanovic's starting role, and it might be Ingles. But the bench is looking a little weak to me. I think, and I brought this up to you, Drink, not too long ago. I think we're going to get another Rockets-Jazz first-round matchup. I think the Rockets run away with that. They got too much firepower for the Jazz to deal with them. As formidable as Utah is on the defensive end, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, no, I agree with that latest info, the intel, right? I agree with you even more now because you can. What I've learned from Jordan Clarkson, is, yes, you want him on the court, but he plays better off the ball. You can put him off the ball, let Jamal Crawford bring it up, and then you'll get more buckets than – listen, because Clarkson, when it comes to ball handling, man, please, it ain't there. But, like, he can fill the bucket up, no doubt about it, but he's not a ball handler. So I do agree with you. They could use him.
The depth is striking after Mitchell and Clarkson. I mean, there just really isn't. I mean, Rajon Tucker is the only other guard they have listed that's not hurt right now. So, yeah, they're going to need somebody.
Yeah, in regards to some of these other dudes out here, I would say I think Gerald Green's an interesting guy. 3-and-D. We've seen him flop around in Houston for years, coming off the bench. He's capable of getting hot for you. I don't know if Houston would be interested in bringing him back, but I think he's got some value. C.J. Miles is another guy who can knock down a bunch of threes for you. Those are a couple guys I'm looking at. Iman Shumpert, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in seeing his hair out there or his non-offensive self. That if he's not 3-and-D, he's just sprinkling some defense. You may as well bring Andre Roberson to the party.
I would say this, man. I look at this list, though. I'm going to tell you right now. I watched the video the other day of this guy jumping in the water. He captured a shark with his bare hands. That was more interesting than these players on this list. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm looking at these guys. J.R. Smith, boom, I got it. Maybe Trey Burke. I seen him cooking with the Wizards. But the rest of these guys, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Somebody cancel my cable. So, with that said, these replacements, it's going to get ugly. Like, you got to just think about this. Avery Bradley leaves, you replace him with J.R. Smith. What a drop-off. Like, this guy leave, you replace him with X. It's not going to be a fair transition no matter how you look at it. So, this will make the postseason somewhat more interesting just to see how you try to come with these old expired Band-Aids to fix a problem, and it's just not going to work. It's just like, hey, stop the bleeding. I'm trying to over here, boss. Like, it's going to be downhill. So I'm very interested to see how this goes on. But one name I do like Isaiah Thomas. He's floating around. He hasn't played for a while. That is a guy that was an all-star, a guy that was supposed to, hey, next season they're going to bag up the Brinks truck, and ain't nothing went right since then. But he's a guy that's very interesting. I put him in that category with J.R. Smith. Like, he's done some things. He got a name for himself. He's not one of these dudes that I got to use Wikipedia to tell you about him. I know who he is. So it will be interesting to see if he comes back and give a team some firepower. But I'm with Jay on this. It's a bunch of question marks for me.
Yeah, the only thing with Isaiah Thomas you look at is in the playoffs, often you have guys who are defensively as challenged as Isaiah Thomas is. It's harder to hide him in the playoffs, and teams can sort of kind of go after that little mark there. But it is amazing his meteoric rise and fall. I mean, this guy was doing the work for the Celtics it felt like just the other day, and now he can't even get on a team like this. But yeah, these replacements are very interesting. Some other stuff here from Woj's Twitter. Substitute players can be signed until August 14th, the last day of the play-in games. So some of these guys on the list here, I think they can be signed through the end of the play-ins. But after that, the only replacement players that can be signed through the end of the postseason are players of 0 to 3 years of experience. So if some of these guys don't make a roster by the end of the play-ins, they're not going to be on these rosters at all. And all the guys left are going to be your, 0 to 3 year guys. Also, most of the teams on the outside of the playoffs this year, your bubble teams we talked about, the difference from your 16 teams to your 22 teams, they've all pretty much said they don't really believe this endeavor is worth risking injuries next year. So when you're talking about replacement players, you're likely to see the teams on the outside of the bubble pretty much treat this like a summer league type event. They're going to sign, two-way contract players and stuff like that. But the difference between them and then how the 16 true playoff teams attack this, and probably really even the 7 and 8 seeds are more likely to also be like this, where they're going to basically just treat it, sign some possible guys, let them play, do whatever. Whereas these top tier teams are going after your best available, your J.R. Smiths and things like that. So there's going to be a big difference. We'll see in the next few weeks between how the teams attack it.